I'm Darla Beam with DB Leadership. Welcome back and thanks for joining me today. Today the conversation I wanted to have is a little bit more practical. What's been coming up, I know I've heard a lot of discussion about how last year was a year of divisiveness and there's some residual kind of stuff that's leaking into this year. So what I really want to bring is connection. And this is a really practical tool to create connection. So what I want to talk about is a performance review, something that we've all done, participated in, given others. And so whether you receive a performance review or you give performance reviews, or this is actually also a tool that can be modified and used with your kids and strangely with your significant other with just a few little structural modifications. The way that I approach performance reviews is a collaborative, kind of creative opportunity for connection. That's a lot of C's. Collaboration, creativity, connection. So when I work with someone, we set up a series of meetings, and I do have a structure that we sit down and we look at. It's potentially as simple as like a Word document or an Excel spreadsheet, and we just sit down and have a conversation. And there's definitely some kind of leading from the front on my part when I am the superior, I guess you could say. But there's also a tremendous amount of like kind of me stepping back and listening, asking powerful questions, really getting clear about what that person's values are, and also how do those values best get leveraged to serve the organization or the community or the situation. Or if we're talking about home life, that would also be my kids' values, my significant others, things that are most important to them. And then how do we bring that all together to serve the greater purpose? So in that very first meeting, we kind of just sit down and have a conversation. I listen a lot, we capture some things. In the next meeting, we sit down and really go through and define exactly where the accountability is going to lie. And then we continue on often to just create that connection. And what happens out of that connection is 9 times out of 10 at least, everything that gets put on this quote unquote performance review is exceeded by far. And that's kind of what's the word? It's like a byproduct. It becomes a byproduct. A performance review is no longer a stigma. It's like an empowering tool to call people forth into living their own purpose and serving the bigger organizational outcomes or family outcomes. So what I want to do is challenge you, like I said, whether you are someone who's giving reviews or you are a person who is receiving them, I want to challenge you to talk to the person that you work with and collaborate and kind of lead from beside with this. And it doesn't have to be at work though. You could do it with your kids, you can do it with your significant other, but play with it a little bit and see what comes out of it. See over the course of the next couple or a few months, see what happens. I'm curious to hear back. Thanks for joining and look for new content in the future.